What's up, you cool kids? Mark with Cardivox Academy here, and today we're doing something very cool. We're checking out System of a Down, their new song, Genocidal Humanoidz. Well, okay, let me catch myself. The song's not new. This video got put up recently. I think the song came out or was debuted in like November of last year. I'm not so sure, but that's what I'm told. So I'm pretty excited to talk about System of a Down because growing up, System of a Down was actually one of my favorite bands. And I will openly admit for that the longest time, I accidentally called them System of the Down. Yep, that's right. Don't even let me talk about how long I called a lightsaber a lifesaver. Yeah, it's good stuff. Now, if you're new to the channel, what we do is we take the reaction format, we break it down, we make it fun and educational, we talk vocal technique, try to figure out what they're doing, and just kind of overall have a good time. Now, if you enjoy the video, if you have a good time, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the algorithm. It means a lot to little old me, makes me feel good. And we also have a Patreon. If you really love the videos and you want to help us continue making 2 per week, we actually just recently had a huge hangout session. It was tons of fun. It was goofy. We were playing categories, and I think we were like just laughing and trolling each other more than we were actually playing, but it was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. So if you're interested, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Otherwise, I just appreciate you viewing the video, and let's go ahead and get started talking about Genocidal Humanoidz by System of a Down. Okay, cool. Seems like we've reached a little bit of a stopping point. So first of all, I didn't really check the song out when it came out, but listening to it now, I'm really glad that I'm hearing 2 things that are just, to me, quintessential System of a Down. The first is the guitar tone. Now, I don't play guitar, I don't build tones, I don't know a lot about them, but when I hear their guitar tone, I just feel like that's the System of a Down I remember. So if you have thoughts on their guitar tone, just kind of put it down, teach me something. The next thing that I hear that I really enjoy is the counterplay between Serge and Darren. I hope I'm saying those names right. Their vocals. One thing that they started doing back in the day that I really enjoyed was and I didn't think about it in these terms at the time, but they would sing at the same time, not only, you know, sometimes one an octave below the other, but in very different timbres, one warmer and one brighter. So at the beginning of the video, we have Darren adding a bit of nasality to his voice. Now, sometimes when we add nasality, and for some reason, this has been kind of like a theme. A lot of the songs that are on the channel right now, nasality is a thing we need to talk about. I don't know, maybe it's just a trend, who's to say? But when we're singing these lyrics, and I don't remember what they are, but hey, that's different from how I normally talk, right? If I was normally to just say hey, right? It's pretty very modal. Our M1, our speaking voice, right? It just kind of comes out, it's natural, it's what I use. But oftentimes when we're singing, we want to add a little bit of nasal coloring, right? We don't want to go full nasal, right? Unless we're doing high metal vocals, right? But we can use a little bit of nasality to give it that brightness over the top. You, me, them, us. And underneath that, Serge was singing a lot more warmly. He didn't have that, he had more of a lowered back of the tongue. Ha, the, I, ba, right? Then we also had Serge doing his typical sound, which is almost more like speak singing, for lack of a better term, but it's awesome and I love it. I don't say that as a jab. He's got this very cool, I, the persecuted Nayaba, right? He's kind of doing that, and it's very much speaking in an one thing we can do to play with timbre is find a vowel that lends itself to that timbre, right? So if you think of the back of our tongue kind of like an EQ, raised up is sort of our high pass filter, lower down is sort of our low pass filter. Sure makes a lot of sense, right? The right? So certain things to think about. Let's go back a little bit because it sounds like we just hit kind of a heavy section, but I like this song so far because it sounds new, but it still sounds like System of a Down. And sometimes when bands come back after a long slumber, I don't know if this is the first new song they've released or video, but when they come back, sometimes they're so completely different you almost don't recognize them. But these guys, they sound pretty true to form here. So let's go back to about 1 minute. Those scrapes. Yo, did System of a Down just like turn into a black metal band? Is that what happened? Did we just get black metal from System of a Down? What? You gotta be kidding me. That was nuts. Oh, that was so cool. And his voice, like we don't usually, usually when we hear that, you know, driving blast beat sound, it's not only in black metal, but it very, very much is a lot of black metal. We hear screaming over it, or sometimes we hear like soft, clean singing, like bands such as Lantloss back in the day. Lantloss is one of the best bands in the history of ever. Check them out. Yeah, Serge's voice, it'd be cool. It would be cool to hear like a "Yes, who's coming over to dinner." It would be kind of cool to hear that. I got to hear that again. That was freaking nuts. That was cool. That was very cool. It was a simpler song, right? For sure. But I really love the way that Serge's voice sounds over their guitar tone. The guitar tone is just crunchy and heavy and, you know, driving. And then we've got this, "Guess who's coming over to dinner," right? That really, I mean, I'm adding a lot more vibrato and stuff than he does, right? But I love those two sounds together. I think that those work very, very well. And that black metal section, like, yo, I'm gonna be real. Y'all should write a black metal album, or maybe just a black metal song. Do it for me. Do it for me. I would greatly appreciate it. But that was awesome. Yeah. So one thing you can think about in your own recording, this is actually kind of fun, is, you know, if you're a singer primarily or a singer and screamer, you can do multi-tracks. Maybe you don't have another vocalist in your band, but you can do multi-tracks, and you can do them in, you know, different timbres, different styles, right? So your lead, your, you know, vocals that are more forward in the mix, you can say, hey, make it nice and nasally, hey, and then underneath that a little warmer, and then maybe even do an octave below and an octave above if you've got that kind of range. But overall, play around with your nasality. Don't be afraid to add nasality to your singing. It doesn't mean your singing has to sound nasal. It just means that it'll add a little bit of brightness to the tone, whereas, you know, your tone might feel a little dead as of right now. If you're singing kind of here like this, guess who's coming over to dinner, right? Adding a little bit of nasality and moving forward, guess who's coming over to dinner, can kind of start, you know, working and fixing that tone stuff as well. So pretty quick, short and sweet video, but I love that song. Again, if you liked the video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Really helps the algorithm, really helps me, makes me feel like a happy camper. If you thought it was fun, put it in the comments down below. And as always, if you really enjoy the content, check us out on Patreon. But beyond that, as always, thanks for hanging out. Many thanks. Much love. I'm out.